For the very latest on any stormy weather out there. Hutch?
Well, we do see a line of strong thunderstorms now making their way through the Red River Valley into western Minnesota. The threat is not gone from the FM area, but the best chance for severe weather swiftly shifting off to the east. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning for a storm that is quite strong. We'll take you into it here right now. You see it showing up on the screen. A few cells down along the South Dakota border are strong. But the strongest is this guy right here, Clay County central parts, moving into Hawley as we speak. Hawley and Detroit Lakes, you are under the influence of this severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service. Now, this storm, capable of some sizable hail, well over 1.5 inches in diameter. So this is a big hailstorm heading right in toward the Hawley area. As we take a look at our sky cam, I believe we're pointed in that general direction right now. Let's take a look at that real quickly. You can see the very white color to the what looks like the rain shaft. That is a hail core that is dropping out of that storm right now. Just south of Highway 10, north of Interstate 94, moving in towards Hawley. I'll take you back and we'll time out the movement of this storm as it moves to the northeast at a fairly fast clip of about 40 miles per hour. It will be near Hawley by 6:11. And Audubon by 6:29. A dangerous storm making its way through Clay County into western Becker. Also some storms northern parts of Norman County, central Polk County, seeing some heavy thunderstorm activity, as is the Thief River Falls area. The forecast shows that our risk of storms will shift into western Minnesota and be done by the 10 o'clock hour. I'll have details and we'll continue to track these storms as we go through the evening. If they fire up near you, could be dangerous. But for now, those at Sanford, I think, things are moving east rather quickly. That's good news.
That is good news. Thanks, Hutch.
All right, a lot of active weather taking place right now as we speak. A lot of folks in the FM area getting out and about. Most of the thunderstorm threat has moved off to the east. We're not out of the risk, but suffice it to say that this line kind of indicating where things are firing right now. A watch is in effect until 10 o'clock for the area in blue. Here is a look at what we have on the radar. We have one active warning for this cell just east on Highway 10, moving through Hawley right now. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. Here's a look at the hail markers, and this by far the one that's lighting up the screen the most, one on the border there in Dickey County. Also Polk and the Pennington County area is seeing some potential hail developing storms. And now as we look into Hawley, this hail cell is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour, a good clip. It's likely over the Hawley area right now with its hail potential, moving towards the Lake Park area by 6:34. Hail to ping pong ball size likely from this storm. If you're in Hawley or in the path of this storm, here's the most likely cone. By the way, it'll most likely travel right along the northern edge of the warned area toward Whitehurst. But if you're in Detroit Lakes, you're in the path of the storm, there's a chance you could see some hail by 6:48. We'll keep our eyes on that one. More cells southeast North Dakota as we swing down towards Sargent County. This cell near Breckenridge right here, taking up most of northern portions of Richland County, is a big one, and it's starting to show some signs of rotation. Our storm tracker, Eric Whitehill, is on this storm on the southern portion here, and here is a look at his live video right now at what he is seeing as he's keeping ahead of the storm, trying to be safe. Joining us now online, I believe we have Eric Whitehill. Eric, what are you seeing from this northern Richland County storm?
Yeah, right now we do have a wall cloud. It is showing signs of rotation, not very strong rotation, but it definitely is showing some signs of rotation. Very strong winds associated with this, especially Brushville, just to the north of Dwight. Winds in excess of 40 to 50 miles an hour. Not seeing any hail with it, but I am very concerned because this is starting to show additional signs of stronger rotation as we're getting a little bit further and closer towards Minnesota. Definitely something that I'm going to keep my eye on and keep watching as quick and as closely and safely that I possibly can. A lot of RFD kicking up a lot of dust on the backside of this storm as well. That's not where the tornado is going to form, but watching this wall cloud, it's almost right over 176th Avenue Southeast, just to the north of Dwight right now.
All right. Thank you very much for keeping your eyes on the skies. A wall cloud forming on that northern Richland County storm. Thank you, Eric Whitehill. Be safe. We'll keep you on top of that. That storm right now not warned but a lot of heavy rain and some small hail potential with that as it moves off to the east at 40 miles per hour. Now, northwest Minnesota, basically from Norman County through central Polk all the way up to the Pennington County area and Thief River Falls, some very strong thunderstorm cells. These cells up in the north side have a little bit of rotation showing up from time to time. The main threat's going to be large hail, gusty straight line winds, a little lightning, and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. Here's a look at the hail markers with this one. The Thief River storm moving just to the south of you will be a core of hail also along the Highway 2 corridor through central Polk County. A little hail cell that could produce 1-inch hail. 116 in Phoenix. It's hot and Pierre at 92. We warmed up into the mid-80s in Fargo, but some thunder showers in the area cooling us down. 85 Grand Forks, 77 this hour in the Devil's Lake area. Detroit Lake's 81, 62 in Badette. Here's a look at the current conditions. Skycam showing the storms out and about to the south of us right now. It's 81 on the thermometer, gusty winds to 32 miles per hour. Straight out of the south-southwest right now, transporting some moisture. Here's our line of storms. They will make their way through and out of the region by 10 o'clock tonight, so most of our activity will be in the area until then. Then northwesterly and westerly winds. It'll be breezy through the overnight hours. I think most of our rain chances will subside. Start your day tomorrow in the 50s for most, a mix of sun and clouds. It'll be a little on the breezy side. Temperatures not nearly as warm. We'll be kissing 80 in the south, a lot of 70s up to the north. A breezy day, but cooler and drier as well. So a look at your planning forecast. Fargo starting out in the mid-50s on our way up to the 70s for the afternoon, upper 70s. A little breezy from the west. Chance at 80 down in Wahpeton, Breckenridge. Not a bad day in Lakes Country, but breezy. Low 70s along and north of Highway 2. Great shot of the dandelion and the sun out there. A combination we don't always see. Beth, what a creative shot. Thanks for uploading your dandelion at dusk. Planning forecast as we head into Friday. Looks cooler. And the weekend, after some showers both Friday and into Saturday, looks real cool to start, but much better for Sunday in the mid-70s. Temperatures rising back to seasonable by midweek with a return of thunder and lightning chances in the forecast. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Becker County and extreme eastern and central parts of Clay County until 6:45.
All right, thanks for those details.
You bet.
$1,000.
It's magic. We're still tracking severe weather in our area, so let's toss it over to Hutch Johnson right now with what we are understanding. Hutch, is a tornado warning?
Yes, the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning for the storm that our chaser Eric Whitehill is on. The tornado warning is in effect until 6:45 for portions of Richland County, Wilkin, and extreme southern and western Otter Tail. Does not include Fergus Falls at this time, although the brunt of the storm will be heading in that general direction. Let's take you to Eric Whitehill's video right now. He is live on this storm, and you can see the menacing clouds that are over the area that he is following this storm up. Now, he is crossing the Red River on his way toward where the storm is. We have Eric online. Eric, what are you noticing?
Hey, Jim, since the last time I talked to you, this storm's really trying to wrap up. Right now, the wall cloud has started to produce much stronger rotation, and we're starting to see little funnels starting to try and form underneath it. Looks like we've actually got a funnel trying to form right now. I'm going to try and zoom my camera in on it. You can if you can look at that, that looks like we do have a little funnel that's starting to form on the front side of this wall cloud. I'm just coming up on Wahpeton right now, so Wahpeton is, if I'm in Wahpeton, I want to be in my safe space right now.
Yeah, Wahpeton, Everdale, it's heading right towards your general area, so some very tight rotation on the wall cloud being picked up by our storm chaser, Eric Whitehill. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for this storm as it will continue to drift off to the east, the primary part of the storm, east-southeast towards the Fergus Falls area, at a clip of about 35 to 40 miles per hour. Highway 210 is in the path of the storm. As we can take a look at the radar right now, we'll show you the communities that would be in the path of the rotation being shown again along Highway 210. It's crossing over the Red River, Breckenridge, Wahpeton. It's over that area right now is where Eric's video is, and it's moving eastward at a very strong and rapid clip as we're seeing it move off to the east. Storms also in the Detroit Lakes area pushing into central Becker County. Will miss Detroit Lakes proper, but will continue to head off to the east-northeast towards Highway 59 between Detroit Lakes and White Earth in the next few minutes. Ping-pong ball-size hail possible from that. And we're also getting word from the Weather Service that there are several spotters seeing wall clouds down the radar showing an appearance on the south as well, as we've been showing you. We're going to keep our eyes on this tornado warning for portions of Wilkin, Otter Tail counties, as well as Richland County. We're going to go to break real quick, and when we come back, we'll get you an update.
This is a Valley News Live Storm Team Weather Alert.
All right, we're continuing to track severe weather as a possibly tornadic storm is heading in toward the Fergus Falls area. More on that in a second. If you're here looking for Twins trivia, we will pick up with that next week. First and foremost, thunderstorm watch remains in effect until 10 o'clock at night. The most active storm our chaser, Eric Whitehill, is on right now. It is moving very rapidly east-southeast along Highway 210 toward Fergus Falls. The tightest area of rotation, as we take a quick look at the rotation available to us on the radar, is on the southern and western side of the storm. It's not very clear because it is quite a ways away from the radar, but we do have our storm chaser trying to keep up with this racing storm. It is moving at a very rapid clip. Let me get the latest speed on the track of the storm for you. That storm is moving at 35 to 40 miles per hour to the east-southeast. Again, here is the little area where we have this little bite taken out of the storm right here, this little appendage area where I'm circling. That is the most likely location of the rotation in the storm. It's moving east-southeast, and Fergus, you are in the path of the storm, as is parts of southern and western Otter Tail County and much of northern reaches of Wilkin County. Now, as we put a little track on this southern flange of the storm, if you will, moving off to the southeast at a very strong clip, it's even faster than the 30 miles per hour. Communities Parkdale, Squire, and Dalton will all be in the path of this particular storm, and Fergus Falls is going to be dangerously close to it. Now, again, Eric Whitehill's video, let's take a look at that right now as we see he is making his way across the Red River and heading up and tracking this dark storm right now. Eric, I understand you're on the line. Have you seen any other indications of wall clouds or dangerous?
It is starting to get a little bit away from me as I'm trying to cut through town, cut through Wafton and Breckenridge. But I'm still seeing some definite signs of rotation with this cell. And so it's definitely something to keep a very, very close eye on, especially if you're downstream of it. I don't see any funnel clouds immediately, but I do see that there's still definite rotation with this cell just to the northeast of Wafton right now.
Okay, and again, as our radar is indicating, this cell is moving eastbound fairly quickly at 35 to 40 miles per hour, east-southeast. There's a southern edge, the southern and western edge of this storm that has a tight rotation with it right here, moving over the Highway 210 corridor. So if you are along Highway 210 into western Otter Tail County and central and eastern reaches of Wilkin County, that's where the dangerous threat is. On the northern boundary here is likely where we're seeing the risk for that heavy rain with this cell, and the possibility for some hail also exists. As we take you out just a little bit further, we're also tracking activity in and around the Becker County area, and those storms also producing some sizable hail this afternoon. So one tornado warning. Okay, we got a new warning as well. Thank you, Robert. We are going to take you into Detroit Lakes. Now, this cell is moving just to the northeast through Becker County. It's racing toward the Highway 59 corridor near Callaway right now and does have the potential for some sizable hail still. As it moved through the Hawley area, the hail size that we got a report in town was pea-size hail from a viewer on Facebook there. Thank you for that update. Now, the hail core right now near the Lake Park area in Callaway is also going to be under the gun very shortly. And as a matter of fact, we could take a slice through this storm rather quickly and take a look at that hail core and see the potential for hail with this storm. It's reaching over 40,000 feet in the atmosphere, and where we see this elevated pink layer is a lot of very large raindrops and hail very high up. So that indicates the hail potential for this storm will continue as it continues to move to the north and to the east toward the Highway 59 corridor. So if you're in Becker County, particularly the northern half of Becker County, be prepared for a dangerous storm. The main threat from that one will be large hail. A new warning has just been issued for the lower Red Lakes area as well as parts of eastern Polk County for this very pink or hot-looking cell near Oakley. And that will be moving into northern Clearwater County. The hail potential with this one looks to be quite sizable. As a matter of fact, hail estimates as we take a look at this cell near Oakley and south of Oakley are on the order of 1 to 2 inches in diameter. That is huge, a huge hail core. Now, as we take a look at our vertical slice of this cell through the pinks, we can look at the towering reaches of this storm, and it too is reaching upwards of 50,000 feet. And look at how that hail core twists its way into the atmosphere through 20 and 30 and 40,000 feet. This one will be producing some hail for quite some time, and that is also going to continue its movement and to the east as we go through. Now, it's also moving at a fairly quick, rapid pace, and we'll be pushing on the western edge of the lower Red Lake as we go through the next half hour or so. Here's a look at some timings for some communities that will be in the path, the direct path of this hail-producing cell, moving at about 50 miles per hour. North Clearwater, 654. And then also the upper Red Lake area by 7:22. So dangerous storms developing as we head into the evening hours here across the valley. We want to update you folks in and around the tornado warning cell that's moving in and taking aim on Fergus Falls. Our storm chaser Eric Whitehill is doing his best to navigate traffic and get onto a good route that can get him out closer to the storm. But the reaches of this storm are now between Rothsay and Fergus Falls. As we are heading in through the storm moving to the east, the Highway 94, Interstate 94 corridor there is likely picking up some very heavy rain at this time and possibly could be seeing some sizable hail as well. So sizable hail heading towards Fergus Falls. The rotating part of the storm would be on the southern flank down here where we have, I'll circle with my marker, right here, halfway between Breckenridge and Fergus Falls in that particular area is where we still have a little appendage on the storm, a little bit of possible rotation, not far from Everdale, as it makes its way eastbound at a very good clip, close to 40 miles per hour. So the tornado warning does continue. It continues until 6:45. It no longer is a danger to the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. It's out of your area, but it is moving very close to Fergus Falls, and the risk for a funnel or a tornado from this does continue. The National Weather Service has just put out a little statement, so I'm going to update myself and you on that as we speak right now. The tornadic thunderstorm has moved out of Richland County, as we just told you. The watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. The tornado warning remains in effect for western Otter Tail and eastern and central Wilkin counties, still possibly showing that rotation. And weather spotters have been reporting, including our very own Eric Whitehill, a funnel cloud with the cell. Eric's video, let's take a quick look at that. He is on the track of the storm. Do we have Eric on the line?
You do, Hodge.
Okay, Eric, hi. You are now moving in what direction, and is that, what are you looking at? Explain to us.
Hey, Hodge, right now I'm moving towards the east. I'm trying to stay on as good of roads as I can, but what I'm watching in front of me is the wall cloud. That's that low-hanging area where we're going to see, where we would most likely see a tornado form. The rotation is not as strong as it was a few minutes ago. However, there still is some fairly substantial rotation with this storm. A lot of hail off just to the north of Highway 210. We're going to have, looks like some rain and hail and a pretty nice looking rainbow, but don't see any funnel clouds right now. I don't see any funnel clouds in the last couple of minutes, but it is something that I am working to keep my eye on very closely over the next few minutes.
Okay, Eric Whitehill, thank you very much for your update there. It looks like you've got some emergency vehicles also in the path. Robert, can you check on that for me too while we're doing this? But again, a tornado warning for our western viewers in Otter Tail County and extreme eastern and central Wilkin County along Highway 210 there. Heading into Fergus Falls is this dangerous rotating storm. If you are in Fergus Falls, you're hearing rumbles of thunder, you're getting some gusts of wind and some heavy rain making its way into your area. Let's go ahead and put up a couple of safety pointers for you as you are getting ready. Kids, if you're home alone, parents haven't quite made it home yet, there's some safety that you can keep in mind for protecting yourself from tornadoes, and the best thing is to get to the lowest floor available in a sturdy structure. That includes a basement if you have one, and again, staying away from those windows. Now, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch. That means any storms that form could become severe fairly quickly, and a warning is issued only for storms producing 1-inch hail or better, also for storms producing about 60-mile-per-hour winds or better. But as far as tornado safety goes, you want to make sure that you are on the lowest floor and put as many walls between you and the dangerous storm as you can. That will offer you the most protection. So a basement, get to a sturdy room, get under something sturdy, and protect your head. If your parents ain't home from work, kids, it's okay. Get to that basement or interior room. If your home doesn't have a basement, again, put as many walls between you. That's usually a hallway, maybe even in a closet, and then basically get down low and protect your head. This is going to be a rough and tumble storm moving into southern portions of Fergus Falls right now along Highway 210 and the intersection of Interstate 94. Okay, and I guess we have a picture from Fergus Falls, is that right? Okay, so here is a picture from a viewer in Fergus Falls. I want to go ahead and take a look at this, but that is a lowering cloud. That's likely the wall cloud Eric Whitehill is seeing the other side of. This is from Shell Tumberg. Thank you for sharing this photo with us in Fergus Falls. A dangerous situation in and around western Otter Tail County right now. That low-hanging cloud is heading toward the western edge near Fleet Farm in Fergus Falls. And Eric Whitehill has seen rotation with this particular cell and thunderstorm as it makes its way in. So, you know, it's best to heed the warning, get to the basement. You don't want to be outside taking video. Let the experts out there who are chasing the storm take care of that. Seek shelter, stay away from windows. A tornadic thunderstorm that's producing rotation, wall clouds, and funnels is heading into the Fergus Falls area right now. Around the region, Becker County, the storm that has prompted the warning is starting to weaken a little bit. As I loop the hail tracks, we can see that the bright, hot hail colors that indicated upwards of 1 to 2 inch diameter hail have since waned as the storm is crossing over 59. The warning does continue for the next 7 minutes or so, but the storm as it moves into northern Becker County is waning. That is not the case as the storm making its way through Polk County continues to show some very significant hail markers as it moves into Berner in parts of Clearwater County, just to the north of the Clearbrook area. We'll go ahead and slice through this cell so you can get a three-dimensional look at the storm. This storm reaches upwards of 50,000 feet, and not only are we seeing that pink near the ground, which shows hail hitting the ground, but there is pink way up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So this storm's updraft is so strong, it's throwing hailstones way up high. That means this storm is capable of continuing to produce some pretty sizable hail as we go through the next several minutes here as it approaches the Red Lake area. So if you are in northern Clearwater County, anywhere along the western shores of Lower Red Lake, there is a very serious storm making its way towards you with some significant hail risk with that. There is a little bit of rotation starting to show up. The blues that you see here showing some storm spin making its way through. No indications of anything hitting the ground, but we'll keep our eyes on that for you. A rotating thunderstorm with very significant hail. Northern and eastern Polk, northern Clearwater, and heading into Beltrami County at the lower Red Lake areas. And I'm specifically concerned about anyone along the western shores of the lower Red Lake area. Make sure you're seeking shelter. Put your vehicles in the garage. A dangerous storm is heading your way. If you're in the FM area and you're heading to the concert, the risk for severe weather has shifted off to the east. Let's get you back to the tornado warning storm. New tornado warning has just been issued for the National Weather Service for Fergus Falls and southern Otter Tail County until 7:30. Eric Whitehill, it looks like you are on this storm. If I'm still with you, that is one dark and mean-looking cloud. Where are you and what are you noticing?
Yeah, it's right now. I am just to the west of Foxhome, just a couple of miles west of Foxhome, heading towards this storm that's over Fergus Falls. Still seeing a wall cloud. The wall cloud is not, again, the rotation is not as strong as it was a few minutes ago, but it's kind of recessed a little bit back up into the cloud base. This is a good thing. means that the tornadic potential isn't as strong as it was a few minutes ago. But I'm still keeping a very, very close eye mid and upper levels of the storm. There's still quite a bit of rotation, it looks like. We still have that appendage hanging off on it. I'm keeping my eye on this storm very closely, especially as it approaches Fergus Falls and areas downstream.
Okay, be safe. Eric, let us know if you come across any storm damage. Of course, we know you will. Be safe. Let's take you in on the radar here in Fergus Falls. And I want to point out that Fergus Falls proper, much of the city lying to the north of Interstate 94 there, is just now starting to see some significant rain and hail moving in. And the hail and the strong core of the storm that's rotating is on the western fringe of town. Along Highway 210, where you see the pinks there is the potential for hail upwards of 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter as it's moving off to the east. We see that the rotating part of the storm is moving right along Highway 210 as it moves its way to the east. It takes that threat for a tornado at any time with it. And it is extremely close with these signs to the Fergus Falls area and anywhere along Interstate 94 between Fergus Falls and Dalton. That would include Parkdale. There's a rotating section of that storm moving right into your area right now. That does look pretty dangerous with what we're seeing there. It will be moving towards Battle Lake and Burbank and southern and central reaches of Otter Tail County shortly. Here's a little timing on this cell as the leading edge of the tornadic or rotating part of the storm is mainly in the southern part, moving at 35 to 40 miles per hour. Here's the timing. Fergus Falls about now, 6:50, the storm will be right over you with the rotating part from Fergus Falls and point south. Parkdale, 6:59, the rotating part of the storm will be over your area. You have time now to find shelter in your safe place. If you are in Battle Lake, if the storm holds together, it will be pushing into your area with in and around 7:15 and on toward Vining by 7:30. All right, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for Fergus Falls and southern Otter Tail County. It does include extreme eastern reaches of Wilkin County, but the storm is basically crossing over the county line as we speak. The old tornado warning will likely be allowed to expire. Our storm chaser, Eric Whitehill, will put him up here on your screen so you can see. He is chasing the storm from the backside where it's safe. It's backlit, and you can see from his video here, he can see the low-hanging clouds. But what you're seeing directly in front of him is essentially that gray sheet that's slamming down onto the ground is a core of rain and hail, very heavy rain and hail. So where we could be seeing a wall cloud in rotation could be between Eric and on the other side of that rain sheet. So again, this storm is wrapping into southern Otter Tail County. A tornado warning continues for your area until 7:30. Taking a look at Becker County, the thunderstorm warning for your area has expired as the storm moved over the Callaway area and the Highway 59 corridor. The hail risk from this storm pretty much collapsed. As we mentioned earlier, that warning has been allowed to expire. For our viewers up in the Red Lakes area, a very dangerous and likely the largest hail-producing cell that we have on our radar screen right now is right here in northern Clearwater County, moving to the western shores of Lower Red Lake. If you are on Lower Red Lake or know someone who is, or you know anyone camping in that area along the western and southern shores, a very dangerous storm with large hail potential is heading in that general direction. A quick look at the hail potential where you see the yellows. Our radar algorithm is estimating the size to be over 2 inches in diameter. Now, this is not always what reaches the ground, but 1.5 to 2 inch diameter hail certainly possible from this cell in rural Clearwater County and northern and central parts of your neighbors to the east there in Beltrami County. All right, we got a report in the Lake Park area, 4 miles north-northwest of 1 inch diameter hail from the cell that moved through the Becker County area moments ago. So that storm did produce sizable hail. We have another round of hail and thunderstorms making its way into southern Richland County now, the southern half. So basically from Highway 13 and point south, Windmere, Lidgerwood, a round of storms is heading your way. There isn't a huge hail risk from this now. Small hail under 1/2 inch possible from the cell. Speaking of hail, with the tornadic cell moving into western and central Otter Tail County, it could be producing between 1 and 2 inch diameter hail, and that could be heading right toward the Fergus Falls area right now. So you did have the risk for the rotation, the wall cloud moving over Fergus Falls. Now sizable hail likely to be hitting in and around the Fergus Falls area as we speak. So brace for that in Fergus Falls. The tornadic part of this cell is likely making its way very close to the I-94 corridor near Dalton. This is getting a little bit far away from the radar site, but now we have a more clear marker here. Okay, where you see the green colors, this indicates motion towards the Doppler radar in Mayville, North Dakota. So I drew the arrow towards the radar. Where you see the red here, that's motion that the radar is picking up away from the radar. So basically still west-southwest of Fergus Falls, and we're talking about very close to Fergus Falls proper, by 2 to 3 miles to the southwest of Fergus Falls is where the radar continues to show some rotation with this cell. We're going to stick with you if you are in Fergus Falls, if you are in western Otter Tail County and you have severe weather to report. Please pass that along to your local authorities. You can also share that with us here on Valley News Live. We monitor very closely our Facebook page and all of our avenues to get this information out and about. Plus, we have our very own Eric Whitehill tracking this storm. As you get into Otter Tail County, there gets to be a lot of trees, and that's exactly where he is, trying to get a better and safe vantage point for this particular storm that continues to show pretty tight rotation, crossing now right over the I-94 corridor between Fergus Falls and Dalton right here. That is the dangerous and rotating part of the storm. We'll continue to monitor this as we continue to see signs of rotation. This storm continues to produce a dangerous threat to those in Otter Tail County. Again, the tornado warning is in effect until 7:30, and we want to let you know that there's also a very large hailstorm heading through northern parts of Clearwater County now, well north of the Bagley area, and heading right toward the southern Red Lake right now. The western shores of South Red Lake will be getting hit with some potential sizable hail as we go through the next few minutes. Let's take a minute as we look at Eric Whitehill's feed. He is driving. We are seeing video of his passageway. He's not looking into the meat and potatoes of the car, but we can tell you that he is on the storm that is producing the tornado warning as we speak, and his location is just off to the west of Fergus Falls. So there is a look at the storm off to the left. I think Eric is listening to us as we speak. Eric, are you seeing anything as you're passing to the south of this storm or trying to catch up to it?
Yeah, right now I am able to see a little bit clearer picture of this. Wall cloud is still there. It is persisting. Over the last couple of minutes, wall cloud rotation has started to increase just a little bit, not a lot. But it is starting to, the updraft interface, what we call it in weather or meteorology terms, the updraft interface for this storm, starting to see a lot more scud and rain get sucked up into the bottom of this wall cloud, which tells me that we still have a very strong updraft in place for this storm. I don't think it's done by any means. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. I am in about the perfect and safest position to see a tornado if it is going to drop. I am starting to see a lot of other amateur storm chasers out here. Please don't try and do this at home, or don't try and do this. Try and stay at home because you don't want to be out here in the event of something bad happening.
Excellent advice. Eric Whitehill chasing the storm from a safe distance. We don't encourage folks to do that. I did just get a note from a Facebook friend while Eric was talking that in Elizabeth, Minnesota, just basically off to the east of Interstate 94 in Otter Tail County. The sirens are going off for you. As the storm is heading in your general direction right now, you are in the path of the storm. There's Eric Whitehill catching up to it from behind on the radar image right now. You see his Storm Chaser logo is on his track through the Fergus Falls area. The storm hitting Fergus Falls with heavy rain and hail. The greatest risk for rotation in this storm is now moving over Interstate 94 on the southern flank of the storm. We'll draw a circle right here. It is moving off to the east at about 35 miles per hour. Here are some communities in the direct path of the rotating part of the storm. That includes Dalton by 709 and Ashby by 721, Urbank 745. So these communities in along that path are directly going to be under the gun for the potential for a quick producing tornado. This storm has produced funnel clouds as reported by our own Eric Whitehill. It's over Parkdale now heading toward Dalton and the Ashby area as we speak. So these areas here and the lakes too, I might add, if you have property out there near Battle Lake, these storms are going to be racing in that general direction. Now, on the northern side of the storm up here, where we see all the reds, likely we're going to get some heavy rain and hail potential with the cells up here. The rotating part of the storm pretty much staying along the southern half of this box, this red box that you see on your screen. That is the active tornado warning. We want to update you on the storm that's taking place up to the north as well. And we want to thank you for your patience for dealing with us. If you don't live in Fergus Falls, we understand. Your programming is important to you as it is to us. The safety of our viewers is very important to us, and we're passing along information as these storms, particularly the tornado warned storm, moves through Fergus Falls right now. You still need to be in your safe place in Fergus Falls and other western and southern Otter Tail County communities. The cells that are making their way through northern portions of Clearwater County, let's get the latest on that for you. It has now moved on to the west shore of the lower Red Lake area right now. So as you can see right here, the pinks indicate that that storm's still capable of producing some sizable hail. And as I slice through the storm and look at it in 3 dimensions, we can see that that hail core continues with the purple and pink that you see on the screen to reach upwards of 30 to 40,000 feet. So the storm itself reaching upwards of 45,000 feet, the hail core pushing upwards of 30,000 feet. That is still a dangerous storm, and it is moving onto the western shores right now of the lower Red Lake area. So if you are in the path of that storm, please seek shelter, stay away from windows. And again, if you have campers or friends that are on that lake, let them know that they need to be seeking shelter. That storm also, with hail that large, the hail falling out and collapsing out of the thunderstorms can cause some dangerous straight line winds. And straight line winds from these thunderstorms can exceed 100 miles per hour, and those can do significant damage as well. Otter Tail County is where the riskiest storm is right now, where we do have a tornado warning continuing for Fergus Falls and points in southern Otter Tail County until 7:30. We do want to let you know that Becker County, northern reaches, we have a couple of storms that are festering back up as they move into southern Polk County. We're monitoring those. It looks like Park Rapids will be out of the path of those storms. And central and southern areas in Richland County seeing some strong thunderstorms move through. Just as a point, though, you can see as I turn on the hail size indicator here south of Wyndmere, that blue you see on the screen means hail up to a ½ inch to 1 inch diameter from those cells moving through southern portions of Richland County. So the tornado warning does continue. The risk continues for southern Otter Tail County. What you're looking at now, the colors you're looking at, that is hail. The hail potential moving into Fergus right now is over 1 inch in diameter. The rotating part of the storm is still quite dangerous. Our storm chaser, Eric Whitehill, continues to feed us video live from the storm right now as he is following it from the west. And he is on the backside of the storm where it is safe to monitor the progress of this storm. The rotating part of this storm continues to move in toward the Dalton area right now. As we take a look at wind potential, thank you, Robert, handed me a note here. Okay, as we take a look at areas of the storm producing high winds, we are seeing a surge of winds showing up here where you have the red markers near Squire and north of Squire. And as we take a look at the wind speed, this would be red, so it's moving away from the radar in Mayville, of 76 miles per hour. So the radar at elevation now, above the ground just a little bit, is picking up winds of 70 to 80 mile per hour, moving away from the radar, 91 miles per hour now, in and around the Squire area. So some dangerous wind gusts can happen with these storms as a result of the outflow of rain and hail, and that is possibly what we are seeing there in the Squire area. Here is a look at the spin in the storm. That's very close to the same area, so we have the rotation and the wind wrapping out on that south side. That's very dangerous. Squire to Dalton right now with the rotation right over the Interstate 94 corridor where you see the reds next to the greens here. This whole area has a lot of quite tight rotation moving over the I-94 corridor as we speak. So Fergus Falls, hail and heavy rain is making its way through your area as we speak, but the storm continues to show signs of rotation as it works its way off to the east. I would like to check in with our storm chaser, Eric Whitehill, who is making his way into Otter Tail County as we speak. And Eric, if you're still on the line, are you seeing anything interesting at this point? Have you come across anything where the storm has moved over? Okay. All right. Eric is busy driving right now, so we're going to let him get in better position to communicate with us. That is fine. What you're looking at, though, we can tell you, as he's moving eastbound, he is heading into Otter Tail County. It appears that he is on road. Let me see if I can get the road for you here and confirm that. County Highway 8 that turns into County Road 2 as you go into Otter Tail County. So he is making his way through and into Otter Tail County there. And where you see what looks like a rainbow on the left side there, that is the hail core and the very heavy rain shaft coming out, and the dark skies right overhead. That is where the updraft part of the storm is, straight ahead of Eric. So he's continuing to track this storm, still showing some signs of rotation. It still also has some significant hail potential as it works its way off to the east at a clip of 35 to 40 miles per hour. Yes.
You had a 64 knot gust, so a 74 mile an hour gust in Fergus Falls about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Robert informing me that the National Weather Service has picked up a 74 mile per hour gust in Fergus Falls at their instrument station there near the airport. So 74 mile per hour Falls proper. The hail threat is moving over your area and out of your area to the east. So as we take a look at this hail track that this storm is producing, it's laying down hail potentially as large as 2 inches, maybe a little more in spots, right through the central part of Fergus Falls as it makes its way into the city. We're also getting a report of a 74 mile per hour gust. That was Fergus Falls. We're also seeing that, I'm just catching up on some information, 1 inch diameter hail was reported 3 miles north of Trail in Polk County from the storm that was moving through that area. We also have a local storm report of thunderstorm wind damage, 3 to 5 inch diameter branches blown down. That was in Gully in Polk County. So the Polk County storm's also quite potent with gusty wind and hail. So Eric is back on the line. Let's get to his video and let's get to him, ask him where he is exactly and what he is seeing with the storm firsthand.
Hey, Hutch, right now I'm at the corner of County Road 2 and County Road 15 in Otter Tail County. Watching this wall cloud, I got back up on it underneath the action area, watching this very, very carefully because I'm starting to see more of these appendages start to go down. The backing winds or southeasterly winds on this storm have increased again. They started to die down. Now these what we call the inflow winds into the storm have increased fairly significantly over the last few minutes. And you can see the rotation in this storm, in this wall cloud. If you watch very closely, you can see the rotation. You can see all this stuff getting sucked up into the wildfire base of the storm itself. So it's still a dangerous situation. We've got a real strong RFD punch on the backside, and that's just causing this storm to wrap up even a little bit more right now.
Okay, Eric Whitehill, stay safe, my friend. And I want to point out, too, as you take a look at Eric's video of the storm, you can certainly see that outflow, the downdraft coming out of that storm that caused some gusty straight-line winds. We assume straight-line winds hit the airport there in Fergus Falls. 74-mile-per-hour report of wind gusts in Fergus Falls. This storm is racing, folks, down Interstate 94. As we take a look at our hail markers here, it is increasing in speed and moving towards Parkdale as it exits the Fergus Falls area. Here's a look at the storm, and it does appear that the heaviest of the rain and hail is exiting Fergus Falls as we speak. So here's the city of Fergus Falls with the streets. Most of the heavy rain and hail has pushed off to your southeast. It's heading right into Dalton now. There still is rotating part of this storm. Heavy rain in Battle Lake is the main threat right now. And a look at the velocities or the rotating part of the storm, and indeed, there still is the bright reds next to the bright greens, not far from Dalton. So if you are in the Dalton area, a risk for a tornado from this storm is still evident between Parkdale and Dalton as we speak. So these storms continue to produce a threat for a tornado in southern and western reaches of Otter Tail County along Interstate 94, right along the interstate, not far from Dalton, not far from the you folks in Squire and Parkdale. It's moving off to the east, this rotating part of the storm, and pushing south maybe a little bit there in the last couple of notches. It looks like it's essentially following the I-94 corridor through southern and western reaches of Otter Tail County. On the northern reaches here, I would say that if you are along the Highway 210 corridor to Battle Lake, very heavy rain and the potential for some hail is likely the main threat for you, even though you are in the tornado warning. The rotating part of the storm is well to your south. Same thing goes for the Vining area. It appears that the rotating part of the storm is diving toward the southern edge of this red box. That red box is where the tornado warning is until 7:30, so for the next half hour. And it looks like it's diving south more towards Grant County and eventually in toward the Douglas County area as well. Let's check in on the Red Lake storm. There's a severe thunderstorm there. It's moving right over Red Lake now. It's heading through and over the southern Red Lake. It still has some sizable hail potential with it. Reports of 1-inch hail. However, the hail marker reducing in size. If we loop this, you can see the heaviest hail was on the west side of Clearwater County in northern Polk there, just to the north of Highway 2. And it has continued to weaken in strength and decrease in strength as it made its way over Lower Red Lake. So that's a good sign. The warning does continue for your area, however, until 7:30. 7:30, a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for basically, we'll call it central and northern Beltrami County now for a storm moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hail potential, the main risk from that particular storm. By far, the largest, strongest, and most dangerous cell is working its way through southern and central Otter Tail County as we speak. A tornado warning does continue. We continue to monitor for reports of severe weather in Fergus Falls. The storm moved through Fergus Falls with a 74-mile-per-hour gust. Those kind of gusts, that magnitude of wind, can cause damage to things like outbuildings, roofs, trees can be toppled, power lines could be down. We did get report from Facebook friends that in Elizabeth, storm sirens were going off in that particular area. The storm is well out of your area in Elizabeth now, moving on towards Dalton and Ashby and Battle Lake and Point South. So the storm does continue to push off to the east-southeast at 35 miles per hour. It is still rotating on the southern edge. So as you're looking at this guy on your radar screen, where you see all the lightning on the south side of the storm, that is where we have the majority of the heavy-duty activity, including hail potential and rotation with the storm as it moves off to the east-southeast at 35 miles per hour. If you're in the path of this storm, we will reiterate the safest thing to do is get into a sturdy structure. sturdy structure is not an RV. It is not a camper. It's not a mobile home. You want to get out of structures like that and get into something that is anchored to the ground. Now, if that home or property has a basement, that's going to be the best place to go because a basement is below the level of the flying debris. Let's go ahead and take Eric's video if we have it while he's continuing to catch up to this storm as it works its way into southern Otter Tail County now. In the basement's the best place to be because you're below the level of all flying debris. If you have a basement, you still want to be away from windows, so get to that interior room and put something over your head of substance. Maybe it's a desk, maybe get in a door frame or under a stairwell to protect yourself from any possible collapse of a roof or anything like that. If the home that you're in does not have a basement, if your home does not have a basement, then the best thing to do is get to that interior room. I talk to a lot of school kids, and I tell those school kids, walls, walls, walls. Put as many walls between you and the storm as you possibly can, and get down low. You do not want to be in a room with glass windows or anything like that. It might be a hallway, it might be a closet, it might be a bathroom with no windows. Get down low and cover your head. Eric Whitehill providing us this live feed right now. Our storm chaser is on the tornado-warned storm. We're looking at the dark inflow clouds, the wall clouds to the left. The bright you see there, that's the hail core of the storm, and he's parked giving us his shot right now. And again, the tornado warning does continue until 7:30. The hail threat with this storm is significant, folks. Moving through the Fergus Falls area, hail markers were on the order of 1 to 2 inches in diameter, and that continues now to cross over the I-94 corridor into Dalton. So if you're in Dalton, that is where we're seeing this hail core move in with the pinks, but that's also the area of tight rotation with this storm. It's that strong rotating updraft that's causing the risk for the tornado. It's also causing larger hail potential from the storm because it's a very strong rising pool of air. So the picture you're looking at now, the greens, shows that we have motion toward the radar in Mayville, North Dakota. The reds indicate strong motion away from the radar over the Dalton area. The greatest risk for a tornado right now would be between Dalton and Ashby, heading to the east-southeast, right along the Otter Tail Grant county lines at this time. So dangerous storm continues to roll through. The tornado warning does continue. As it works its way out of the populated area and gets into the more rural areas of south central Otter Tail County, the risk will still be there. We'll continue to provide coverage until we know things are shaping up. We have checked at times with our storm chaser, Eric Whitehill, who is on the backside of the storm following up. We're keeping up with reports of information from you, and you are part of the storm team, and we need your help. If you happen to have your computer handy, you can go to valleynewslive.com or join us on Facebook, okay, and post your pictures, post your reports of severe weather from these storms there. If you have hail, we report the largest stone you find. So if in your yard you have a lot of pea-sized hail, but you've got one golf ball size hail, grab the golf ball, put it by a ruler, put it by another golf ball or a baseball for reference, and take a picture and upload that to us. It helps us confirm what we're seeing on radar, and it also helps us to identify the risks and threats from these storms as they continue to push off to the east. So, dangerous storms, large hail producers moving through southern and central Otter Tail County, moving toward the northern and eastern reaches of Grant County, north of Elbow Lake towards the Dalton area, and also toward the Douglas County area right now. These storms are strong. Battle Lake, you're getting heavy rain. Fergus Falls, you are done. The heaviest of the storm is out of your area. Still may be likely seeing some gusty winds, but the risk for the tornado and the hail threat has passed you to the east. You're all good there. If you are in, as we take you in a little bit closer, Dalton to Ashby, that's where the real threat is at this particular point with that heavy hail potential. And on top of that, the rotating part of the storm in this same area. Tornado warning continues until 7:30 for the next 20 minutes. We have not gotten a confirmation, as far as I know, from anything that a tornado did touch down. We are seeing that the tornado warning does continue by the National Weather Service, and there's Doppler indicated rotation that we've been showing you. And we have got you all caught up with all of the most recent updates that have been delivered to us via our tracking. Well, I would like to check in with Eric Whitehill. Here's a look at his video. Do we have him? If we have him, he is no, we do not. Let's keep that video up. What you're looking at there is a lowering base of the thunderstorm cloud called a wall cloud. If it's rotating, that would make it extremely dangerous. Based on some of the radar data we have been showing you throughout the evening, that storm has been pretty consistently rotating. He looks like he is traveling due east into the storm. We are losing a little bit of the signal there as his live feed is coming to us. And I got to tell you, that part of the storm that he's zooming in on and keeping us updated on there is the part we're concerned about. I'm going to check up on Eric's exact location on our tracking software here and see exactly where he is. We can give you a reference point that he is a safe distance away from the core of the storm, but he's certainly seeing a lowering of the cloud base there very close to where he is at this time. It seems like his feed is coming in and out. There are funnel-shaped clouds there that he's seeing. On the interesting thing here, on the right side of his screen, you see the lowering, what looks like rotating updraft and possible funnel-shaped clouds. And on the left, you've got that downdraft, a huge mass of rain and hail coming out of the storm. And where those two things mingle, the updraft and the downdraft, odd things can happen. Eric Whitehill joins us now. Eric, what are you seeing exactly? Where are you, please?
Hey, Hutch. Right now, I am just to the southwest of Dalton, about 1 mile north of Squire in Otter Tail County. This storm just tried to produce a tornado right in front of me. We saw that rapid rotation kick in, and then we had that funnel drop down, and it tried to condense all the way to the ground. It was not quite able to do that. RFD winds on this cell are extremely strong, having to slow down even more below the post to maintain, make sure that I maintain a safe distance and maintain my vehicle on the road. But this wall cloud has definitely ramped up in intensity. I'm starting to see a lot more rotation with this cell right now. And if I'm downstream of this, I do not want to take any chances, Hutch.
Exactly, yes. If you are in southern and central Otter Tail County, the warning does continue. It continues to produce funnels. It continues to produce rotating wall clouds, and it continues to produce some pretty ginormous hail, estimates on radar between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. And we have gotten reports of winds gusting in Fergus Falls to 74 miles per hour. I want to report to you too, as we keep Eric's feet up, this is perfect. Keep this going. It looks like a funnel shape right there in front of us as we continue to watch this developing cell work its way through southern Otter Tail County. Eric Whitehill providing our storm chasing and feed. Yes.
There's no warning up near Monoma, but tornado sirens are sounding. I've gotten a couple of viewers have commented that the tornado sirens are going off in Monoman.
Okay, yes, let's check in on that. Thank you, Robert. I'm going to take a look. Why don't you leave Eric Whitehill's feed up, because I want to be watching that. That thing is quickly evolving. There is a tightly rotating wall cloud right there on your picture. I'm going to look into Monoman and check into our viewers in Monoman County. Yes, there is a strong cell. Let's go ahead and take a look at Max 1 here. A strong cell along Highway 200 heading in towards Nadawash and exiting the Monoman area. There is no warning for this particular cell at this time from the National Weather Service, but our radar indicates here that there is some significant hail potential that has just passed through and developed right over Monoman and went through the south side of town and is heading right towards basically the Highway 200 corridor. 1 to 2 inches in diameter is the estimate of the hail size there, 1 to 2 inches in diameter. Gusty straight line wind potential is also possible with the storm. And to top that off, it's a long ways from the radar out there in Monoman County, but there is even a little bit of spin showing up on the radar, nothing too strong. But if you are in Monoman County, a strong cell capable of large hail is moving in the general direction of eastern Monoman County in the Highway 2 corridor. Looks like to me it's going to pass off to the west and to the north of Nadawash, but head up toward Jack Pine and eastern Monoman County. Thank you for that. Sirens going off in Monoman. A very strong cell working its way south of town. And if you are in Monoman, you could possibly be feeling the gusts of that. Let's take a look at Eric Whitehill's feed right now as we see some menacing clouds in the skies of southern Otter Tail County as he continues to track our tornado-warned storm through Otter Tail County right now. What we're looking at on the right side are all these really jagged looking clouds. They look scary. Sometimes they look funnel shaped. If these clouds remain attached to the thunderstorm base, then that is a wall cloud because it's lower than the base of the thunderstorm. We rely on Eric's expertise. He's telling us these clouds are rotating and wrapping up, and as they rotate, that would be dangerous. Rotating wall cloud is where most tornadoes form and come from. So this line of clouds here along the highway continues to show that rotation and from time to time funnels. It looks like the National Weather Service has just issued a thunderstorm warning for the Douglas County area. That would be in just out of our viewing area for the storm as it moves out of Otter Tail County and into Douglas County along Interstate 94. For our viewers in Otter Tail County, the threat still remains. We do have rotation. We have Eric on the storm right now with his live video feed showing this leading edge where the downdraft or the hail core and rain shaft interact with the updraft of the storm. And that's where we're getting from time to time these rotating funnels and wall clouds. Hail is exiting Dalton. If you are in Dalton, the threat is rapidly exiting your area. It's moving in towards Ashby in the far northeastern quadrant of Grant County. So this storm, the dangerous part of it is rapidly exiting our viewing area right now. And we'll dive into southern, southeastern, and northern parts of Douglas County shortly. That's good news for our viewers. We'll continue to track the storms through the area. We have storms in Richland County that are strong but have remained below severe levels. Storms continue to rumble out of Becker County into Monoman County, prompting sirens to be sounded in and around Monoman. Hail potential from that cell is real, and it is moving pretty close to you in Nadawash. The pink core that you see there in Nadawash is only 5 miles to the northwest of you. That's where we could be seeing some 1-inch diameter hail, maybe even a little bit larger than that. As we continue to see storms making their way through Bagley in Clearwater County, these will be moving toward Bemidji. Those are non-severe and right now don't really show any significant hail threat. And the storms that moved over the Red Lake area are now blowing themselves out, and we call that collapsing. The hail core has collapsed. The storm is now windy. So if you're on the lake, the warning continues, but it's for the gusty winds that is going to be created by this outflow. So the thunderstorm warning continues until 7:30 for parts of the Red Lake area, the lower Red Lake particularly. Another thunderstorm cell here in the eastern reaches of Pennington County starting to fire up a little bit. Some small soft hail from this, gusty winds heading into eastern Pennington County right now. The threat for Fargo appears to be wrapping up very rapidly. The Sisseton area will be seeing some thunderstorms, particularly south of you. We continue to see storms fester up in southern Richland County, and if I check the hail markers on those, there is some evidence of hail that's working its way in toward the Breckenridge area in the I-29 corridor. That hail marker moving off to the east towards Breckenridge, but it's going to be under 1 inch in diameter. Some good news for our southern Otter Tail County folks here. As we take a look at the hail markers from this, as it passed out of Fergus Falls, the hail size potential with this cell diminishing. That's good news. As we take a look at the latest scan, I can slice it in 3D here real quickly to do a quick analysis to see if it's growing or shrinking, just to confirm what we're seeing. And we have a storm that's topped out at about 35 to 40,000 feet now, and it was upwards of 50,000 feet. This storm could be either in a state of collapsing and raining and hailing out, or in a in a pulsing down state, and it may pulse up again, but it will be exiting our viewing area, so that's very good news. Hail potential continues southern Otter Tail County in the Dalton area. It's exiting your area, heading towards northern and easternmost reaches of Grant County right now. The tornado warning does continue as we take a tilt of this cell and take one more look at it in the vertical here. We'll look at the velocities or the wind in the cloud, and it still does show an area of rotation that Eric has been tracking through the storm, where we see the green, that's wind blowing toward the radar, red blowing away over Ashby, Dalton, right along that county line. Southern, extreme southern Otter Tail County. The tornado warning continues for 8 more minutes until 8 o'clock. We're going to check in one more time here with our storm chaser if we have him, Eric Whitehill. Eric, are you available? It looks like his feed, oh, there it is, okay. You get in the trees and sometimes the feed comes and goes. Eric Whitehill has been chasing this storm into and through southern Otter Tail County. He has seen and continues to see this dangerous interaction between the wall clouds. And notice all the emergency vehicles out there. Those are our first responders, and a lot of them are trained weather spotters. So not only do we thank them for providing the services that they do, but in times of dangerous weather, they go out and are trained to look for the rotation in the clouds and the dangerous aspects of these storms that they produce, as well as report weather that they see in their area. So we continue to monitor the situation. Eric Whitehill is chasing. We will continue to monitor the storm as it moves along the southern boundaries of Otter Tail County there, as it moves into Douglas County and northern reaches of Grant County. It looks like the rotating part of this storm is still quite strong. Ashby might be getting some very significant wind gusts right now in excess of 60 miles per hour. So at the very least, very dangerous gusty straight line winds from a collapsing thunderstorm can cause damage, and the rotation still is evident on the scans, even at this far distance away from the radar site. Do we have Eric Whitehill?
You do, Hutch. You've got me.
Okay, Eric, why don't you give us some parting thoughts on what you're seeing with the storm as it makes its way across the border of southern Otter Tail County?
Hutch, it's still definitely rotating. It has produced a couple of what we would call gustinados, which aren't actual tornadoes. They're just columns of air that they are almost tornado look-like. I have seen a few of those. Still watching this storm very closely as it makes its way down towards Ashby and Evansville. Not seeing any imminent signs of a tornado, and I did not see any damage as I made my way around 10 Mile Lake and 10 Mile Resort just a few minutes ago, which is very, very good for everyone out in Lake Country.
Yes, very good news indeed. You got some very scary looking clouds out there, and if they're attached to the thunderstorm, they're dangerous. If they're not, we call them SLCs, scary looking clouds, and there are a few of those out there. But those fingers there that you see on your screen that Eric is capturing for us right now as it looks like he's getting onto the interstate, those guys are typically the type of clouds that form in the strong updrafts that these thunderstorms produce. So there's some rapid rising motion up into the edge of this storm as it exits our viewing area. Eric Whitehill, we will continue to monitor these storms for you. We do want to let you know that the risk in our viewing area for a tornado does appear to be waning. There could still be some very strong wind gusts in northeasternmost reaches of Grant County. So if you are in Ashby, there is a pretty strong storm that's right over you. That's the one Eric is chasing right now. Ashby, that is where we still see some pretty good rotation signs with it. Other than that, the rest of Otter Tail County, north of the county line, is likely just going to get some gusty winds, rain, and some hail, potentially up to an inch to an inch and a half in diameter along the southern Otter Tail County border with Douglas County. Storm warning has been issued for Bemidji. A new severe thunderstorm warning for this storm in the Nadawash area. Now, we told you that Minoman, Robert passed along, was sounding sirens. That storm had hail potential with it. The National Weather Service has since issued a severe thunderstorm warning. It's just north of you in Nadawash. It is heading toward Jack Pine right now. It's moving over McCont's. It'll be heading to the north of Zirkle and basically heading toward central and southern reaches of Clearwater County. And on the outside of time, it will be heading toward Bemidji. I want to let you folks in Bemidji know, if you're watching, there is a line of storms moving into your area. This first line of storms moving along Highway 2 is not severe. That's not the one prompting the warning. That's just going to produce some pretty heavy rain. But the strong storm with the hail potential is about an hour out from you. Okay, this warning will be in effect until 8:30 tonight for Bemidji. That catches you up in a couple minutes. Our tornado warning is expected to expire. We'll see what the National Weather Service wants to do. We have active thunderstorm warnings for our easternmost counties, including Beltrami County, Clearwater County, and extreme eastern reaches of you folks in Monoman County. Also, we continue to see storms fester in southern portions of Richland County from Lidgerwood all the way through Breckenridge, Wahpeton. They are non-severe but could produce some small hail, upwards of 1/2 inch in diameter or so. Our storm tracker, Eric Whitehill, I want to thank him for tracking storms tonight. We will continue to keep an eye on this cell. Here's Eric's car. This is where he is. He's tracking the big storm that produced a tornado warning. We'll continue to monitor the activity right now as we speak. We'll break in as necessary tonight, but it does look like the risk for tornadoes in our particular viewing area, at least the ones that we've been bringing you here for the last period of time, is expiring, and that risk is exiting our viewing area. We want to make sure we get you to programming. We'll let you know. We'll break in when need be. If storms approach your area, do know there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. That watch is in effect until 10 o'clock tonight for much of our eastern counties now. As we head into the evening hours, the risk does continue for the area you see shaded in blue there until 10 o'clock. Any storm that forms could quickly become severe. Hail will be the primary risk. We had an interesting event take place from the southern Red River Valley into southern Otter Tail County tonight. We'll continue our coverage right here and online. Download the Valley News Live weather app to stay on top of the very latest. For Robert Hahn, myself, and Eric Whitehill, be sure to keep abreast of the weather tonight right here on valleynewslive.com. Stay tuned and stay safe.
This has been a Valley News Live Storm Team Weather Alert.
Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson keeping our eyes on the skies here in the Forecast Center. As we take a look, showers and thunderstorms continue mainly in our easternmost counties. I'll highlight the counties where the severe thunderstorm watch does continue. Again, mainly off to the east until 10 o'clock. If you're in the Bemidji area, some strong thunderstorms are rumbling through. We could see some hail about the size of 1/2 inch in diameter or so. So another round of showers and thunderstorms between Bangley and Bemidji will move through with locally heavy rain and some wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. Otter Tail County on the Highway 10 corridor there, still seeing some thunder shower activity, as is Grant County spreading into Wilkin County. Now, all of this is moving off to the east and southeast at around 20 to 30 miles per hour. And will continue to exit between now and 10 o'clock. I don't anticipate severe thunderstorm warnings from any of these, although there is a very small risk of it. We'll keep our eyes on the skies here. Otherwise, you'll hear from us again on Valley News Live tonight. Be sure to join us on the CW. That's at 9 o'clock. And Valley News Live at 10 with your 10 at 10. We'll be back with more updates as needed. Right now, we're updating you in the commercial break so you don't miss any of your programming. And we'll get you back to your programming now.
This has been a Valley News Live Storm Team
Another
Weather Alert.
safe. But first, there were powerful winds and heavy rains that pounded Lakes Country in Minnesota tonight. You're taking a look at this video sent to us from a viewer out in the Fergus Falls area. And Robert, it was an active night for you guys here.
Yeah, an active night. Still some storms out there, but things slowly calming down. No warnings right now, but still have a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of the area for about the next hour or so. We'll show you those storms here in just a moment. First, though, a live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team's Skycam network. Another pretty sunset taking shape here in the Fargo-Moorhead. Sun setting here in about 20 minutes or so. Still warm out there, 79 degrees. Those winds out of the northwest at 20 miles per hour. Temperatures elsewhere across the region, some 60s and some 70s. The warm spot is that 79 here in Fargo. 70 down in the Wahpeton Breckenridge area, 70 in Fergus Falls, also in Wadena, 72 in Detroit Lake, 65 in Bemidji, also 65 in Baudette. Winds strong and gusty out of the northwest behind a cool front that continues to make its way on through, but not a whole lot of cold air behind that front, as we're still 79 here in Fargo behind the front. And that front has sparked off quite a few showers and thunderstorms, and those continue to make their way off towards the east. That blue area, that is what's left of the severe thunderstorm watch, and again, that goes until 10 o'clock tonight, and that sparked off several tornado warnings, some funnel clouds down in the southern valley, and even some reports of winds as high as 74 miles per hour in the southern Fergus Falls area, just south of Fergus Falls. And still some strong storms making their way through the valley. This one just made its way through the Bemidji area, making its way off towards the east and southeast, off towards the south. Still some storms making their way through Wadena. Just had one storm, maybe another shower making its way on through as we speak. Fergus Falls, just south of you guys, another weak thunderstorm making its way off towards the east and points further off towards the south. A few more showers and storms. Once these get on out of here, then things will quiet on down. That cool front continues to slide off toward the east, and it'll keep sparking off some showers and storms off to our east. Severe thunderstorm watch also off towards the south. A few severe thunderstorm warnings down in south central portions of Nebraska, Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and Tropical Storm Cindy churning its way slowly off towards the north, right about there, and sparking off some tornadoes as well as numerous flash flood warnings in parts of Mississippi and Alabama. For us, as we head through the rest of tonight, those storms, they get on out of here. We're going to see a pretty quiet night tonight. And as we head through the day tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sunshine. And along with that, maybe a few isolated showers as we head through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Another warm day, and again, not a whole lot of cold air behind this particular front, but a chance for a few showers, especially across the northern valley as we head through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Picture of the day, a dandy one, a dandelion at dusk. Thanks to Beth for sending that in. Going to use that as the background to our 7-day forecast. And tomorrow, a pretty decent day. Isolated showers possible, better chance for a few storms on Friday, and cooler with some low 70s over the weekend. Refreshingly cool with some upper 60s on Saturday, mid 70s Sunday. A few storms possible Saturday. Quiet Monday, and then more storms Tuesday and Wednesday. So an active pattern still there, and we're getting some cooler air at times, some warmer air at times, and we'll continue that for the next couple of weeks.
All right, thank you, Robert.
Yeah.
And as you
News
mentioned,
Live,
we've got
10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
Well, it was an active evening, but as we head to bed tonight, things quieting down substantially. And
Seemed to miss other spots too. Some were hammered and others
yeah,
not.
we really saw things fire up here in the Red River Valley, and they quickly moved out into portions of western Minnesota. That's where most of the severe weather took place this evening. Here is a look outdoors, and again, we want to thank all of you for sharing your photos. If you want to see them, we have a photo gallery uploaded on our website. Visit valleynewslive.com. You can upload your photos there as well. Today, we have temperatures that peaked near 90 down in southeast North Dakota. Now cooling off to 70 degrees in Gwinner, 74 Fargo, Wahpeton, Breckenridge at 70 as well. 61 now in Langdon, 67 in the Devil's Lake area. And out in Detroit Lakes, it's 70 degrees with 62 on Lake of the Woods right now for Baudette. Here's a look out toward the west as we see the skies are very quiet now. 74 with a 9-mile-per-hour wind, 75 in Moorhead, and in Grand Forks, quiet and clear, 69 on the thermometer, with a northwest wind blowing at 9 miles per hour. Here's a look at our system that rumbled its way through, everything getting fired off in the early evening hours and then quickly racing off to the east. We had an area of severe weather from the southern Red River Valley and the Wahpeton Breckenridge area out into Otter Tail County, where we had tornado warnings, funnel clouds, wall clouds, and 74-mile-per-hour straight-line winds recorded in the Fergus Falls area. Also, very large hail-producing cells fired up here not far from Thief River Falls, tracked all the way from the Mahnomen area and through Clearwater County and on in toward Bemidji. Everything now is, for the most part, exiting our viewing area, leaving behind drier and quieter weather. Bemidji points off to the east, still seeing activity, as is your neighbors to your south. Few rumbles of thunder out there, but most of it is off to the east of Bemidji. Some stuff moving over the Park Rapids area not far from Cub Scout Camp, where we, I'm sure, have a few campers out there that saw some showers and thunderstorms tonight. Also down near Sabika, an exiting storm out of Wadena County, all moving off to the east. Some damage reports all the way from northwest Minnesota in towards western Otter Tail County, where we had anything from hail over 1.5 inches in diameter to wind gusts over 70 miles per hour tonight. And as we take a look at the national picture, some severe weather in the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Very quiet out over the Rocky Mountains tonight. Not so quiet over the Gulf Coast states. As we see the tropical storm continues to churn up a lot of rain. Here is a look at your forecast. Gusty northwest winds will persist through the overnight hours. That's going to usher in much drier weather as we go through the overnight. Not expecting much in the way of shower activity, but we cannot rule it out up to the north as we start out our Thursday morning. Most of us in the 50s to near 60 degrees. It's not a bad springboard temperature. And our wind tomorrow will once again be quite brisk, 15 to 25 miles per hour out of the north or northwest. Temperatures will be warmest down south. We will have a shot at 80 degrees in a few areas, but up north we'll start to notice a cooler push of air working its way in with spotty showers in the afternoon. Nothing too substantial there. A sign of some cooler air trying to nudge its way in, and that's exactly how we'll close out the work week with some much cooler temperatures. So for Thursday, we start off, as mentioned, in the mid-50s. Wind will be gusty at times over 25 miles per hour. Temperatures around 80 in Fargo-Moorhead, but cooler elsewhere up to the north. 71 for Langdon tomorrow afternoon. 69 on your way home from work in the Devil's Lake area. 77 for Babe the Blue Ox in Bemidji and Wahpeton at 82 degrees. And here is a look at a beautiful dandelion at sunset. You don't see a shot like this. Quite creative. Thanks so much, Beth, for uploading this dandelion. Now look at your forecast. If you like cool weather, the close of our work week is going to provide you with some smiles. We'll have 71 degrees, clouds and a few sprinkles on Friday, nothing widespread or too heavy. Saturday could see more, and it will be even cooler. Some areas not getting out of the 50s up in the far north. Low 60s to mid 60s across much of Lakes Country. Sunday looks much quieter as we try to return to normal next week. Temperatures around 80 degrees, spotty showers and storms.
Let's have some quiet weather, huh?
I am okay with that.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
You bet.
Plenty of star power.